We are approaching the end of this week, and right now today is Thursday. I only took one trade this week. We do have one more trading day tomorrow. I actually do have a full live trade on my previous video if you guys want to check that out, but I am going to break it down again in this video, and also past couple days that I've been trading and what I've seen. But I only did take that one trade on Monday. First thing first, I go to Monday, and this is what I see in the 30-minute charts. Right here, I'm looking at the NASDAQ, and this is the ES. I always look at both of the charts, and that's how I create my analysis, and I play out both of the charts. You guys remember from last week when I was telling you guys about this big channel that we're in, and basically we weren't doing anything, and I was waiting for a breakout to happen, and we did not get that. So what I do, I just wait, and I did not take any trades last week. Coming Monday, which is this day, Monday, it finally broke out the zone, and I got a retest, and I took my long position there. And if it didn't happen, if it wasn't a long, let's say it came down here, then I would have taken a short over there instead. Since it went outside the channel, I just trade whatever I see. It doesn't matter if it's a short, it doesn't matter if it's a long. Whatever the market is telling me, that's what I trade. Now, when I go to the 2-minute time frames, this is where I got my entry. The green arrow is where I entered, and the red arrow is where I exited. I traded off the NASDAQ. I could have also traded off the ES as well and got the same amount, 3 to 1, and that's what I targeted. But I just like the NASDAQ chart more, so I just like the better break and retest. I had a proper risk. I risked about 30 points, and I targeted about 90 points because that was a 3 to 1, and I made about $190. Pretty simple trade. It's just a break and retest, and I just trusted my levels. I had a proper game plan, and I just trust the process. I'll show you guys a live trade now, and then I'll break down the next couple of days. Coming into Tuesday, this is Tuesday right here, and Monday we did that break and retest that we got. Now we're kind of stuck above, or we're kind of stuck in the supply rejection, which is the all-time highs. It kind of looks funny after the end of the day because we're now in this structure right here. We're in this supply zone, we're in this demand zone, we're in a range. When there's a range, I don't take a trade, right? And that's what I did. We were stuck in this range, didn't take a trade. It didn't matter if it broke back down here. It's because there's a previous day's low here that I just didn't know if it'll get bought back up, so I did not take a trade. And even in my game plan, I said I'm not going to take a trade. It didn't matter if it went above, it didn't matter if it went below. All I said was that I'm going to be hands off, just watch the market and just go through my day. I didn't even have to be in the charts. I could just say the charts don't look good, I'm just going to walk away, and I could just do whatever the hell I want to do. This is Wednesday right now, and we see that it did break the channel. It did break the channel. It gave me a retest, and that was a short. But I actually did not take the trade because I had to go to work, so I wasn't able to trade until this time. But if I was able to trade, maybe there'll be a potential trade, but I can't say because I wasn't actually there. But my game plan was that I wanted the ES to break first, because I know that this NASDAQ can break, but the ES was still going to hold this level that held on Monday. So that's why I didn't want it to just like give me a false break, and then the ES just held the market. If you look at the charts, there's common similarities. You see how there was a range here on Monday and Tuesday, and then I did not take a trade. Of course I did take the trade on this day, but I'm just saying, if I'm just looking at the charts now, even on the ES, I don't take a trade when it's in a zone. But when there is a breakout, this is the break and retest right there. That's the trade. And then remember on Monday, let's go to the bigger time frames. Like before, this was a channel right there. That was the channel. It's a really big channel, but it doesn't matter. It's just a channel. And then what I wait for is I don't trade anything in this channel. But when there is a breakout, that's the break and retest right there. So basically this was a channel, and I could have taken a trade right here on Monday, and I could have take a trade again on Wednesday when it broke back down the channel. But the thing is, I wasn't there, so I can't do anything about it. But that's basically taking the trade when we're not in the channel anymore. We're taking breakouts. That's the break and retest for you. When I go to the 2-minute time frame, the Nasdaq did a really good break and retest, but I knew that I wasn't going to game plan for that because I wanted the ES to break first. But as you see that once it broke down on the ES, it kind of just went back up, and I could have got faked out right there. That's why I didn't want to take the Nasdaq, but it did end up working because that level was really clean. At the end of the day, I had to follow my game plan, and I could have said that, okay, I should have added the Nasdaq, but it didn't really matter anyways because I couldn't trade. I had to go to work. The ES did end up breaking down here, but it did play a lot of games. This was not a retest right here. This was not a proper retest because it just did a fake out, and then later it gave you that retest later for the downside, and I could have targeted 3-1 there, and that is about it. So, but technically there would have been a second trade if I was still available. Now coming into Thursday today, nothing has happened. We're in a range still, and even when the market did break above this level, it was messy, it was choppy. You can see over here that it was just like chop up there. Didn't really have a zone on the ES. And then when I go to the bigger time frames, we are currently, the ES doesn't really show you the channel, but I still have it on the Nasdaq. So the Nasdaq had a zone right there, and then it did a break and retest above there. That was a long. It broke down the channel. That was a short, and now it is in this range right here. So I can take a long if it goes back above, but I'm not really liking it because we're still under the previous day's lows or previous day's highs, and the market is a bit choppy on the Nasdaq. My game plan for today was that since it was a previous day's low on the market, I was waiting for a break and retest underneath this level right here, but I didn't get it. So if I don't see that happening, then I'm not going to take a trade. I'm just going to wait for better opportunities, and that's what I did basically. That's honestly my strategy. I wait for break and retests, and I wait for bigger channels. I wait for proper levels in the bigger time frames to really align together, and I just sit and wait because this is my strategy. I know what I want to see, and I'm going to just be patient and just wait because I know that every time when I just take a lot of trades, take random trades, don't even wait for a break and retest, I lose. My strategy is a break and retest, so I'm going to wait for a break and retest. And of course, the context matters all the time for the markets, like your levels, your supply and demand levels, all that type of stuff, and that's why I basically wait for. The bigger time frames, there's always going to be levels, and there's always going to be better levels, and you just got to figure out which level is actually going to be solid, and you have to actually wait for confirmation when you're trading it. You can't just see a supply level and just short it right away when there's actually no rejections. That is the recap for this week. We do have one more trading day tomorrow, so we'll see if I take any more trades. But if I'm just looking at the market structure right now, I don't know if there'll be a trade for tomorrow because right now we are at all-time highs. Like if it gets to this level right here, all-time highs, you can see that the market is super like choppy over here. Like I just don't know what the proper breakout will be, so I don't know if I'll take any trades because I can take a break and retest long, but what is the actual level? Because you can see here it's all choppy, and even there is like choppy. This is a little bit higher and this is a bit lower, so I just don't know what the actual level is. And what I like to say is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day, and I'll see you in the next one.